Beneath the skies of Peru lies one of humanity's most intriguing mysteries. Colossal ancient drawings of animals, geometric shapes, and long straight lines which cross each other's path like some kind of landing strip. Runways, perhaps. They are called geoglyphs, and these geoglyphs are known simply as the Nazca Lines. A series of lines and animal depictions carved into the arid soil of and around the large town of Nazca in Peru. They are actually located in what's called the Nazca Plateau, a vast desert area between the towns of Nazca and Palpa. Yes, you've heard of them, but do you know that archaeologists and historians alike are keeping things from us? Things that may reveal their true meaning, their true origins. And someone very famous may have the answers to these geoglyphs, someone so famous, so influential, that it could literally change the course of our history and how we perceive life itself. Come with me as I unravel the secrets of the Nazca Lines and drawings and explore their unexpected connections to modern times and question why they refuse to tell us everything. They look great from above, but walking them on the ground you wouldn't understand or realise anything strange about them. It would just feel like unassuming lines in the dirt. These folk, the ones that made them, had no way of seeing them from the air, or so we're told. Yet all the geoglyphs sit there with unrivaled precision, plus they are numerous in total. There are two phases to these amazing dirt drawings. We are told the first phase comes from the Paracas culture, who walked the earth from 400 to 200 BC. And the second phase, the more well-known phase, comes from the Nazca peoples, who were allegedly around between the years 200 BC and 500 AD, after the Paracas had died out. These folk made them by making shallow incisions or depressions in the desert floor, removing different coloured rocks and minerals to expose the lighter sand or limestone from underneath. The lines or drawings sat there for years and years, not noticed by anyone, preserved by the arid climate that the Peruvian desert offers. The world didn't become aware of the Nazca Lines until the late 1920s, when a pilot flying over Peru reported seeing strange lines and figures sprawled across the desert floor. These geoglyphs, numbering over 700, believe it or not, were an amazing find. The lines themselves look eerie enough, but they also include representations of animals like hummingbirds, monkeys, and spiders, as well as geometric shapes and long straight lines that stretch for miles. Most of the time, each representation is made using one uninterrupted continuous line. It's not only clever, but it is way more inventive than we can ever imagine peoples of that time in history coming up with. These people of the time weren't just dumb hunter-gatherers like we are taught and told. These people knew things that we don't. Things about the stars, things about food irrigation, and possibly even things about other races, otherworldly races. Yes, aliens. The purpose of these geoglyphs has been a subject of extensive debate by both scientists and lay persons. Even though first noticed in the late 20s, they weren't really properly studied until another decade. Some scholars suggest that they had astronomical functions, aligning the celestial bodies for calendar or time purposes, a way of mapping their everyday comings and goings. Others believe they were part of religious rituals, perhaps intended to be seen by the gods and goddesses from the sky. Communicating with the deities, believing it would help them spiritually, believing it would alleviate or eliminate droughts, bringing rain to the peoples and harvesting crops. This part of Peru is so arid. On average, they see 1 centimetre of rainfall in a whole calendar year. That's almost unsustainable for food productions now, let alone back then. How did the ancient peoples of that area withstand such harsh conditions and thrive? How did they find the time to make these wonders if the climate was so challenging? Though this arid climate of the region has helped preserve these lines for centuries, allowing modern archaeologists, professional and armchair, to continue their investigations, yet years on, we are still none the wiser. Is that so? Was the climate back then as bad as it is now? It's one of two answers, really. Yes, the climate was as harsh as it is now, but they had the capabilities to cope, the technology to deal with such demands. Or, back then, the area wasn't as arid and dry, and this enabled communities to thrive, freeing up time to create these huge drawings on their land. But wait, maybe there is a third reason. What if they weren't the ones who constructed them in the first place? What if they inherited them from an even more ancient civilization? A civilization that knew things, that had help, that tapped into knowledge taught to them by another race. Maybe this race created the land carvings. Advancements in technology have led to new discoveries within the Nazca Desert. In recent years, archaeologists employing drones and artificial intelligence have identified hundreds of previously unknown geoglyphs depicting a variety of different figures and even more shapes they were unaware of. These findings demonstrate the evolving relationship between ancient mysteries and modern technology, or put more bluntly, these peoples were way more advanced than we are taught or shown in textbooks. Like previously stated, and I've always thought this, they weren't just unintelligent beings living each season day by day, hoping to get by with little food they had, but they thrived, they enjoyed life, and it shows with their pottery, trinkets, and now the geoglyphs. Pottery and other artifacts have recently been found not too far from the lines, and on the pottery are the same or similar designs, including some designs depicting weird shaped humanoid figures and some kind of flying machines. Before I go further, what beats me, as with a lot of similar historical findings, how on earth, excuse the pun, do these science-based explorers know what dates the Paracas or the Nazca peoples lived? There is very little, if any, evidence to show how or when they settled. Forget the carbon dating crap that they come out with, it's all guesswork. And when guesswork is used, the slightest misinterpretation can lead to way off calculations and assumptions, and we just believe them because they are the science. We are basic folk who need to be told. We are always told to follow the science. Where have we heard that before? In a different light, though, of course, they could be making it all up for other reasons, misguiding us perhaps. What if these peoples didn't actually make these geoglyphs? What if they were made by someone else, or more significantly, something else? I know, that's guesswork also, but it could be. And while we don't truly know, guesswork is all we have. Don't tell the scientists or the archaeologists that, though, for God's sake. While the Nazca Lines are renowned, they are not the only geoglyphs in South America, far from it. All across the Nazca Plateau, more lines and trapezoids have been discovered. A huge trapezoid, a rectangle whose sides are different lengths, has been discovered within numerous smaller lines. It distinctly looks like some kind of landing strip or runway. Folk initially picked up on this, and that's when aliens or extraterrestrials were first mentioned. And this is a definite reason for these lines. But mention the word alien, and folks scoff. Not too far away in the Atacama Desert in northern Chile, you'll find another massive figure, the Atacama Giant, a near 400-foot tall figure believed to represent a deity or shaman. It's huge. This geoglyph is considered the largest prehistoric humanistic figure in the world and holds significant cultural importance for the indigenous communities of the region. Note how the word humanistic is used. It doesn't look like any human I know. Is this a depiction of a human or possibly something else? You be the judge. Wait, don't go anywhere. We're not done yet. This Atacama Giant underscores the widespread practice of creating geoglyphs in South America back then, each with its own unique expressions and meanings. But along with the Nazca drawings and lines, we just don't know why they are there. Unlike the professionals who have to justify their jobs and their trade, we can hold up our hands and say, we just don't know. But that doesn't stop us and shouldn't stop us asking serious questions in a pursuit to answer them ourselves. Another notable geoglyph close to the lines is what scientists call the candelabra. Yeah, that's what they call it, as if Nazcas back then had candelabras. They didn't even have candles. Others call it the trident. It's a three-pronged fork-like drawing etched in the ground, once again only visible from the sky because it is so big. Now this could be a religious symbol. We all know who carries a trident at the end of his tail. It could also be a message to the gods. But then we are mixing Greek mythology, etc., with the South American peoples, the trident of Poseidon, or the trident of the Roman equivalent Neptune. No one knows why this trident, or candelabra, is there. Does it hold significance to aliens? Who knows? Was this region once inhabited by otherworldly beings? Both the Atacama Giant and the Trident geoglyphs are located in one of the most driest regions on Earth, just like the Nazca in southern Peru. But back to the Nazca Lines themselves. Many of the Nazca Lines are long, straight paths stretching for miles. Some, like Eric von Daniken, argue that these could have been indeed landing strips for alien spacecraft. Or were they made by the locals, Paracas or Nazca, or any other human settlements to attract such beings? They could have been made to attract them back, a call for help perhaps. Maybe the locals had encountered beings from another realm or dimension and wanted or needed them back again. I mean, you've heard of the elongated skulls of Peru, right? These truly are strange. Once again, the science states that the tribes of the time in the area tied things around the skull of their babies when the skull was soft and still growing to create these elongated skulls. I don't believe that. The pain and suffering that this would have caused the poor thing would have been immense, and for what purpose? I don't see these people inflicting pain on their children like that, and if so, why some and not all? I believe these elongated skulls are those of a civilization that once walked the earth. They've been found scattered across the earth, from Peru to Europe, from Africa to Southeast Asia. But all these different cultures from different lands who never had the means to interact come up with the same bizarre rituals on their babies, just to change the shape of their heads. Despite the science saying yes, I think not. I think these skulls are the remnants of an even more ancient civilization, more advanced, more capable of creating these geoglyphs in Peru and others. Are they aliens? I believe the relationship is there for sure. Who's to say that the geoglyphs, Nazca and the Atacama geoglyphs, weren't made by the aliens themselves? This theory is feasible because to create such precise drawings and lines, you surely would need to see them from above. Or did the peoples of South America back then, whenever it was, have the ability or technology to fly or know beings that could? Archaeologists and scientists dismiss the alien theory as there is no evidence. Makes you laugh. No evidence. Where's all their evidence of their theories? While they, and when I say they, I mean the ones who are truly studying these strange huge drawings in the earth, while they are hiding things, possibly the truth will never be known. There is one person, or should I say, one of many persons, that may have the answer. The Pope, or the Vatican to be more precise. In 2018, Pope Francis visited the South American area on behalf of the Vatican, although he didn't visit the Nazca Lines themselves. Bit strange, all that way, and you don't visit an amazing site like that. Anyhow, he visited the area, and on his attire, his papal attire, was a depiction of one of the drawings, the Atacama Giant. What kind of symbolistic thing was this about? I do find it strange that they chose that geoglyph to be used. I would have thought the hummingbird would have been less of an intimidating symbol. At the end of the day, the Atacama Giant does not look like a person, a human, nor does it look like a god. It looks more like an alien being to me. What does that tell you? I think the Pope or the Vatican know more about this area, more about the Nazca Lines and the Atacama Giant than they're willing to tell. Deep in the Vatican Library and the archives are books and manuscripts on these symbols, writings from the peoples of this area, but will they reveal them? No. Why? Because obviously they tell a completely different story to what we are being told about the area. Things like the candelabra stroke trident have meaning, and they know it. No one is allowed in the Vatican Library and the archives room. I think if we were allowed, then these Nazca Lines could be solved immediately. And it's probably something quite straightforward, but obviously so straightforward that it would not only change our perspective of this area, but of life itself. But they hold all this knowledge back, and they do that for a reason, peasant. Once again, like I've noted on other videos and other sites around the world, UNESCO are involved. The Nazca Lines and its area was designated a UNESCO site in 1994. A lot of the area is now off limits to ordinary folk. Is this to preserve the site? Probably. Or is it to hide things? Things that ordinary folk are starting to pick up on and find out for themselves. Stop doing your own critical thinking. It's beginning to annoy UNESCO and the Vatican. You can't ignore all the sightings of lights in the region, all the strange activities that go on in this area, simply because there are no answers. They didn't make these geoglyphs for fun, to pass their time away. They have purpose, and that purpose will probably one day come back, and we'll all be not only shocked to the core, but much, much, much wiser. At the end of the day, these lines and drawings and massive figures are amazing historical finds, and ignoring carbon dating, we can almost positively assume they are ancient or even older. But what is their purpose, their meaning? Are the Nazca Lines evidence of an ancient civilization simply mapping the stars like some gigantic seasonal clock? Are they some kind of landing strip or area for extraterrestrials to see from above to coax them back? Are these drawings and lines just meaningless etchings in the sand of South America for tourists to ponder and wonder? Or is the Pope, like popes before him and popes before him, holding back the truth about who or what is really out there? I think so. But as always, you be the judge. Thanks for watching again. I hope you enjoyed it. Now, at the risk of getting banned again, I want to just say that ever since I got monetized a few months back, YouTube have decided to hold and delete a lot of comments, views and subscriptions on my channel. I have no idea why. It's not me. They obviously have their reasons. So please help the channel by clicking the like button, check that you're still subscribed and share the video if you can. I really do appreciate every one of you. It's so hard battling against a huge corporation like YouTube, but I won't give in. I think Peru is one of the most amazing, underestimated places on earth. What do you think? And yeah, once again, thanks for your support, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.